Welcome in, welcome home. This is Jordan Johnson Hines, Below the Rim podcast, episode what? Episode 6 right now?
Episode 6, season 1. I love the intro music, by the way. Let's have to
Yeah, that's all you, man. Shout out to our producer Jamal. What's that, Drew?
Yeah, it was proper for sure.
Ryan, what you got going on?
Man, episode 6, feeling good. How about that All-Star weekend, boys?
Hey, it was crazy. It was lit. Such a good time. Franklin, we got you back on. Were you happy with the turnout of the All-Star game? Mike Malone, the coach of Team LeBron, said it was the worst basketball game he's ever seen. Yeah, I know you thought about the All-Star game and going to the All-Star game. You agree?
Who's going to go to the All-Star game?
I thought you said you wanted to go to the All-Star game before. You know, you've gone there before, and I'm saying in terms of Mike Malone, do you agree with what he said?
I think if I went to this All-Star game, I think if I went to this All-Star game, I probably would agree with the comments that Shaq made. It probably would have been a lot of room service. It wouldn't have been that much to do in the city compared to when it was in Toronto. It was popping that year. Like I met Shaq,
that's what I'm saying. You went to the All-Star game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So that was a bad All-Star game. So Toronto was a fun All-Star game. You do agree with Mike Malone? It wasn't a fun time.
Yeah, I agree with Mike Malone and Shaq. Shaq also said that he was bored. He said all he did was order room service.
Are you serious?
I think I probably would have done the same thing. That it wouldn't have had as many sites as Toronto. Like Toronto, I mean, you guys know, Drew knows. Right beside Scotiabank Arena, we got the aquarium, we got the rec room, so many things popping.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto does have a pretty nice downtown core. I'll give you that. Not the most exciting place to be, but we do have a lot to see at the same time. Crime rate is low.
We used to have a nice club district.
Well, Cleveland had the All-Star game last year, right? Ryan, are you a proponent of bringing it back to Cleveland, or do you want it in like the smaller cities like Indiana, or you want to be like, Stephen A. Smith was saying the exact same thing. Shaq is saying, these guys are saying that they want it in like a city like Vegas or Miami or something.
The NBA guys, they're pampered as it is. I think we talked about it on the past few episodes. They play when they want to. An 80 game season, they play maybe 70, 65 games. They can handle the small city all-star events.
Right.
When it was in Cleveland, it was fantastic for the fans. Everybody had a damn good time. So, yeah, maybe it was a little bit of room service, but suck it up.
Every city needs to have an opportunity to host the All-Star game. Come on. You know what I mean? Like it's
absolutely. And we renovated we renovated Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for that event. It looks fantastic now. It looks world class. So, there is good to come of it from these small cities. So I don't know why Mike Malone is stirring up some drama.
Well, he got LeBron injured because he wanted to bring some defense, some competitiveness. Drew, what was your best moments of the All-Star game? I know you talked about the halftime show. Did you get a chance to check out the celebrity game, the dunk off with Mac McClung? Were you impressed with the 3-point competition?
I did not see the celebrity game. I try not to watch that because I find it's a lot of, at most, B-list celebrities. The term celebrity tends to get thrown around a little bit too easily.
Which celebrity would you want to see play?
Good question.
I want to see Jordan Johnson Hines.
Hey, good. That's
Jordan,
good plug.
Aside from our boy Jordan, the first name that popped in my head for some reason would have been maybe Coyle Ray. I wouldn't mind seeing her skinny self try to dribble and work her way up and down the court.
Who's that?
And then I was thinking Blueface and maybe his girlfriend right now.
Oh my God! I thought you want to see a boxing match.
That's hilarious. Okay, Franklin, who would you like to see in a celebrity All-Star game besides me, of course, because I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. Get my good side. You know what I'm saying? Ryan, which celebrity would you like to see in a celebrity All-Star game?
So we saw J. Cole catch an alley-oop. He's one of my favorite rappers a couple of years back. So that was really cool to see that come to life. I think nowadays I would like to see, I saw Janelle Monáe mic'd up. I think I'd like to just see somebody like a personality, somebody that has nothing to do with basketball. I like the Coyle Ray. She sings that Players song that I catch myself nodding back and forth too. I'm not gonna do any dances.
Okay, so she's a singer. Okay, all right, gotta look her up. I probably know the song if I hear it. Hold on, Ryan, real quick. Tell us about that photo with you and Andrew Bynum, since we're on the Cleveland topic. Bynum has the blonde hair. You look like you just got fresh out of college, feeling hype. What happened the night that you said Andrew Bynum gave you the finger?
That's right. Yeah. So freshly 21, downtown Cleveland bars, just enjoying the NBA playoffs. And this was actually the year after Bynum was on our team. You remember he had a good little stint with us, a couple good years. And, well, I guess he never really panned out to get us where we needed to. So he left the team, and he had a little, the blonde little Billy Goat facial hair. He had the blonde little mini fro in the photo, as you can see. And there's a bunch of people outside. We pour out of the bars, won the game. And I see, like, he's huge. He's like 7 feet. It looked like Shrek, walking down the street. So I ran up to him, as did a bunch of people. And at this point, like, he's starting to realize, hey, I'm not just here to take photos. I'm just walking down the street. And he starts giving people the finger. Wow. He keeps giving people the finger. Jamal, you want to edit that out for me?
No. Leave it in.
But, he's giving people the finger. So I get in the way, and I have it positioned to where you can't see it.
Wow. Can we put the picture back up again so we can see what you're talking about exactly? So explain it again, right? As we got the picture up. So you put it in a position.
Yeah. So as people are running up to him, like, he's giving them the finger, and I could see that, like, he's fucking up the photos. So I positioned it to where you can't see that finger. And I think I got a good photo out of him. He's not really like super aggressive, angry. I'm thrilled. I'm very happy to see him, as you could see in the photo. But
and there's no finger.
It was a sight to see. He's just a massive, massive individual.
Yo, he had such a good career. Like that stint that he had with the Lakers, he was like definitely top 10 centers, top 5 centers at that time. For sure.
I thought he was going to be like
picking up a lot of tech.
He was a hothead. Yeah. He had Yep.
A lot of techs. He's just a bad locker room guy, and eventually just kind of quit. Quit way before his time. He came out of high school, so he's one of those guys that had 10 years of experience by the time he was 28, and I think after that he just went downhill.
And when he was playing with Kobe, he was like the youngest player in the league. He was like 17 years old and X amount of days, before he turned 18. So he was like at the time he was like one of the youngest player, or the youngest player to be in on an NBA court.
I think he was one of the last people taken I think he was part of that last draft class where they could come right out of college or right out of high school. So yeah, he just made it just in time. That's probably, that's good memory right there, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh no. I remember, man. So Drew Holiday, we'll talk about Drew Holiday real quick. He was the first player in NBA history. This is like a cool little fact, to be selected 10 years apart. So he was selected in 2013 when he was on Philly, and then selected again this year, 2023, when he, playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's cool. To see a bunch of, we got Julius Randle representing New York, first time All-Star. He was the first time All-Star, right? Julius Randle?
No, I think it was the second time.
Second time? Okay. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he was a first-time All-Star.
2 times too many, in my opinion.
Oh, you don't think he should have been an All-Star?
I'm just thinking of, I came up on guys who had games that were kind of suited for the All-Star game, more so than maybe a player who is putting up certain numbers this time of year.
Wow.
It's a show that the fans want to see in that game. You want guys that can do a certain amount of showman-style moves and exciting plays that not the run-of-the-mill NBA player can do. Like even Jokic himself said, if I myself was drafting this game, I would have drafted myself late because my game isn't suited for an All-Star game. And everyone knows Jokic is, if not a top 3 player in the NBA, he might be the best player right now.
Great take. Yeah, I saw that. And I think Jokic is being humble. I think his game is top notch, but I can understand what he's talking about when with the game being more fast paced and for the 3 points and the dunks and all that stuff. But as they said,
back to the dunks, going back to the tweet there is another tweet that I'm gonna post up right there. Take a look here. Boom. That's not basketball. No, not that one. Wait.
Oh,
LeBron
Jalen
James
Brown,
said-
the
That was
Jalen Brown
first?
tweet. No, you're right. So you're saying it's like Jalen Brown tweeted that it was like, or he said in the post game commentary that it was a glorified layup line. And I think
there was a way to make the game more competitive.
More
Obviously,
competitive.
no real defense played tonight.
Yeah, so that's something they're gonna have to start kind of talking with Adam Silver about to make the game more competitive and even kind of circling back with that, like seeing like the first time All-Stars. Markkanen was a first time All-Star. He played well. Sabonis, first time All-Star. And then we had obviously Donovan Mitchell and Luka and those guys returning. But we want the fans, as much as they do want to see the dunks and the highlights, they want to see some sort of competitive fire behind it,
Yeah.
Yeah, to me right now,
have
the
Russell
only
Westbrook in the
all-star game in sports that matters is baseball. Baseball, they're playing for World Series home advantage. So, they have a little bit something to motivate them to go hard. Whereas in basketball, 184 to 176, I think that's what the final score was. That's not basketball.
Yeah, it's getting a little lenient.
I'll be honest with you here. Like, I think you guys are being a little bit too kind. In the past few years, All-Star games have pretty much lost.
Here we go. Okay, I agree.
I, for one, love to see defense, and I realized that watching that NBA game, how much I actually appreciate defense. I'm a Maple Leafs fan, as you guys know. I'm an NBA fan, and I actually love to see guys match up defensively against another player in their same caliber. To see the Matador style defense that LeBron did.
I mean, at least LeBron tried to. He
move the
did
needle,
it.
you know what I
He
mean?
did a
Like, I
chase
like to
down.
see
He did a chase
competitiveness.
down. He did a chase down block, though.
He did.
At least he competed a little bit.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of that came to the fact that he was bricking 3-pointers and started to look like he wasn't worthy of being there. Because, I mean, LeBron's game isn't designed for certain styles of all-star games. LeBron, if you're not going to be out there throwing down hammer dunks, you're not going to be entertaining me, per se, because when he tried to do trick shots, like a 3-point trick shot, he looked like a moron.
Yeah, that the back it hit the backboard and it was like worse than a Westbrook shot. It was pretty bad.
What are you doing, LeBron?
It was pretty
What
bad.
do you think the
That
last
would've been a
good
tough shot
NBA
for
All-Star
Curry.
game was? What do you guys think the last good NBA All-Star game was?
You know what it was for me personally?
Maybe Toronto with Steph Curry.
I got to get on that one.
Even that game was kind of just Matador style defense. To me, it stopped mattering when
With Kobe.
I
has
got
to be.
cable and I could see all these players play any night that I want. When I was a kid growing up, I couldn't see Karl Malone play on a Tuesday night. You could see maybe one NBA game, and you weren't seeing other All-Stars. Like, I wanted to see Kevin Garnett play a game because I didn't understand how was this guy getting 20 rebounds and 30 points a game, because I wasn't able to see it. I had to wait for the All-Star game to see Kevin Garnett. We
You
didn't
have to
have
wait for
internet,
Christmas
we
to
didn't
watch
have cable.
Kobe play.
Right now that I'm able to see every player whenever I want, it's lost its luster for me.
Well, that's the TV deal.
That's a really good point, though, Drew. It's a game that I wasn't, I didn't watch at the time, but back in 2001, the All-Star game between when Allen Iverson was the MVP, the East was down 20 points, and they came back and beat the West. Stephon Marbury was balling. These are some highlights you guys should really look up. I don't know when the last best All-Star game was, but I just look at those highlights, and they're playing hard. They're defending like you said, Franco, like World Series, like Game 7 is on the line. It was really cool to see. So check out that 2001 All-Star game for all the listeners and watchers out there.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way the old NBA used to play. They used to play hard, and they kind of put it all out there, left everything on the court. And then now, got a piece of hair sticking out. Oh, that's my headphone. And now everybody's like just thinking about the NBA championship. They're just thinking about, getting to having the best shot to win the championship. and they're missing the journey. You know, the destination is the journey. You got to play. And speaking of that, let's pull up Jamal, if we can, sir. Anthony Edwards saying pretty much that guys need to play and stop sitting out. You know, people are paying their hard-earned money to see us play. I'll read the quote right now. All the guys sitting, resting, just play, man. I don't like all the sitting, missing games and stuff. These people might have enough money to come to one game, and that might be the game they come to, and you're sitting out. And they also talked about how it was similar to a Kobe Bryant quote from 2019, where Kobe said, "You've got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to watch you perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to perform at the highest level, to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit."
May I
Frank,
add? Wasn't that exactly what we were talking about in the last podcast? Frankie mentioned the exact same thing. What if Michael didn't play at that game that LeBron was watching? That's exactly what we mentioned. So the fact that we're seeing the full circle.
There's no beginning. There is no end because it's a circle.
Impeccable.
It's a full circle moment. What are your thoughts on that? I wanted to start with Franklin, but he's not on the call. Anyone could take that. Yeah.
As far as the whole load management issue, coming from actually the home of load management, Toronto, Canada, where Kawhi Leonard load managed better than anyone has ever load managed in their load managing lives. Turned it into an NBA championship for your beloved Toronto Raptors. I just have to say that I come from an era where guys played all 82 games. And if Michael Jordan can do it, if Kobe Bryant can do it and remain somewhat healthy, I think anyone can do it. It's just a matter of having the desire to stay in shape. See Zion Williamson. If you have the desire to keep your body in a certain place where it needs to be to absorb the punishment, get in the weight room, eat the right foods, drink the right amounts of fluids, your body can maintain the rigors of the full season. But these guys nowadays, especially once they get paid and already have a ring, good luck trying to convince them to play a full 82, right?
Are you disappointed in Zion, Brian? Are you disappointed in Zion not seeing him play? And, you know, do you think he's what Drew was talking about? Do you think he's kind of fallen to that kind of trap for the new NBA player where it's I don't know, it's more about the money and the fame and the attention and all those things instead of like the actual work of doing what LeBron has done, keeping his body healthy at the highest level?
I think there's a good mix of both with that. You know, Zion has been the highest touted recruit for quite some time. He was going to be the number one pick no matter what. But at the same time, he has had some injuries. His body wasn't ready for that full NBA season. So I think it's a good combination of both, Jordan.
And Franklin, and your thoughts, because we wanted to ask you, because I was saying you sent that text to the group of Anthony Edwards and what he talked about, you know, missing games. What are your thoughts on that? Because you did mention that in the last pod as well. Like Jamal was saying, you know, that kid not seeing Jordan play, or LeBron not seeing Jordan play, you know, as a kid, and then not having that dream or that ambition to be inspired and to chase that goal of going to the NBA.
I think it's crazy that I said in the last podcast, and within a week, a player comes out in the media and, you know, basically repeats what I said, in a way. I find that a little bit crazy that it happened so soon.
Full circle moment.
There's no beginning. There is no end because it's a circle.
Can we get a full circle graph? Can we get a flush and a full circle graph?
I do want to leave a question to the listeners, to the audience. Factoring in a few points. We have technology now. We have social media. These are things that players didn't have before. There's a lot of temptation for the NBA players, whether it's like, okay, I can just throw out this game, I'm still getting paid this. You know, there's a lot of things factoring in. And then like the food, like there's inflation. There's a lot of things that are, you know, so like who knows what's going on through a lot of these players' minds. And then you got the players in the past now. Who knows what they were
like
going
even Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah, right. So,
Ben Simmons is like dealing with mental illness, you know, mental health and
And that's something
issue right now because
that's huge on the planet right now.
because people are saying he can't shoot or this or that, and it is affecting his game, man, to the point where he's like literally a non-factor on the court, and he's a phenomenal player. So, but Franklin, kind of finishing your thought on that, on So you were saying you had the thought.
I think these guys got to play. If you look at back in the day, Michael Jordan was making $3 million every season, except for maybe one season or two. He got paid maybe $30 million his last 2 seasons in Chicago. These players are making, $20, $30, $40 million, and they get to sit out games. And a lot of it started with the Spurs. I think the Spurs were the first team to
start that,
the rest
the load
management. But a lot of their guys at that time were older. They weren't in their first 5 seasons in the NBA. It was like Tim Duncan was maybe like year 12, 13 before they started doing that with him and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. So I look at their system of doing it a little bit different than these guys' first, second year, having a day off here and there.
And it kind of messes with the psyche. It kind of
100%.
makes it less of an importance. It's like, man, I could just sit this game out. This game doesn't matter. This next bit, I can take 3 games off this, which, Randy was saying on the last pod. Shout outs to Randy for coming on last pod episode. But it gives the players a lot of power. And I think that's where a lot of owners of the NBA teams are getting upset with players because they have so much power.